Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about a hot topic, y'all. You know, I try to sneak in these hot topic videos anytime I have a little extra break in between the shows that I review. And right now, I'm only reviewing Ready to Love. So we got a little extra time. We got time today. And yesterday, as I was reading my comments, someone dropped down in my comments and told me, hey, are you going to talk about the Simone from Married to Medicine, Cecil, and her entitled boys? And I said, oh my goodness, because I have been watching clips of it and watching little videos here and there. And I got to tell you, yeah, I got something to say. I got something to say. And as always, some of it might, not agree with some of y'all. Some of it might, surprise you because I know on the surface, everyone is saying that her boys are entitled. I don't think any one of us, too many people out here, are going to disagree with that. People might even say that the daddy, Cecil, is a problem because Cecil pretty much has been a stay-at-home dad. He has had a heavy hand in raising these boys, of course. And people might say that Cecil's, the way that he sort of lives off Simone too, has rubbed off on the boys as well. I'm actually going to agree with that too. But many of y'all know I am a root cause analysis person because I'm an engineer. And I look at symptoms and I look at causes. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Do I agree that the boys are entitled? I sure do. There's a lot of entitled people running around out here in the world today. It's a whole hell of a lot of them, okay? This ain't nothing new. But you know who the biggest problem is? It is Simone. Sorry to tell y'all. She is at the root of her marriage. She is at the root of the boys, how they've turned out and how they're living their life. She's the real problem. Now, could Simone's real problem be about her parents? I believe it is because, as y'all know, I'm a root cause analysis person. So I'm always going to go back to childbirth. And if you, truth be told, I would have to go back to your parents' childbirth and then your parents' childbirth. That's what I'm talking about. All of this stuff is generational. If you want to change your life, you got to change things that happen to you at birth. Okay? So what I'm going to talk about is what I always talk about. When you find yourself in a situation like Simone, where Simone is clearly unhappy, she is frustrated, she is unhappy with her life, she's displeased with her boys, she's displeased with her husband, her marriage, she's bitter, she's angry, all these things. But the biggest problem right now with Simone is why she can't get out of this bag. It's like being in a paper bag and you trying to fight your way out of the paper bag. But what you've convinced yourself of is that the people have put you in this paper bag. That's the mindset you got to change. The mindset you have to change is that no one put you in the paper bag. You put yourself in the paper bag. So if you want to get out of the paper bag, you get yourself out of it. See, Simone is sitting up here on these YouTube or whatever she's on Instagram, yelling and screaming at these boys and Cecils. Why don't you listen to me? Why are you taking my money? Why are you doing this? This sounds ridiculous. Simone is the one with all the financial power in the house. Think about this for a moment. She has all the financial power in the house. She's really the only one making money. But yet, she is begging and pleading with Cecil. She is begging and pleading with the boys to stop wasting her money and taking her money. Does that make any sense to you? You have all the power, but you're begging and pleading with people to do something different? No, because it's her mindset. And this is what I want to talk about. And you know what? This station, this YouTube channel that I run, I don't always get a lot of views. I don't. I don't even have a whole lot of subscribers. Don't mean I don't want more. I wish some more of you would subscribe. But I'm going to say this. Lots of times things come across my YouTube comment section and it makes my heart warm. Yesterday I read a note from a young lady that says, Auntie Deb, I got married last week or something. And she said to me, you know what I did, Auntie Deb? I took your advice. I stopped making myself the victim in my own life story. Because when you are the victim, your happiness is on hold. Because as the victim, you don't feel you have the strength, the power, the latitude, the ability to go grab your happiness. Instead, what you do is you do like Simone. You sit in your unhappiness and you scream and you yell and you beg other people to give you your happiness. Simone is sitting here and begging Cecil and her sons to do different things so that she can be happy. And those different things are do different things with my money so I can be happy. No, why don't you do something different with your money? Why do you need them to do something different? Why don't you do it? And that question right there is it's going to unlock Simone's happiness when she starts to realize why she doesn't do something different with her money. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, first of all, I'm going to say this. I know everyone's telling Simone she should divorce Cecil. Simone probably is even contemplating divorcing Cecil. Simone tells us her retirement fund, her retirement account isn't even fully funded. How is it not funded, Simone? You're the primary breadwinner. You've been on Married to Medicine for 10 years. You're a doctor. Why hasn't your money gone to fund your retirement account versus going to fund the lifestyle of Cecil and your boys? Why? Those are decisions you made, right? You made. You see? So this is what I want to do. Those of you who are not convinced with what I'm talking about, I want you to think back to this Married to Medicine series. I stopped watching Married to Medicine because I kind of got tired of the same old arguments, but I think I know enough of the history for me to sort of paint this picture for you all when it comes to Simone. Simone has always, for me, come off as bitter and angry. Simone has had difficulties in pretty much all her relationships. If you really think back to it, Simone has had difficulties not only with her husband throughout the whole series of Married to Medicine. She's had difficulties with her kids. She had difficulty with Dr. Heavenly. Of course, we know with her kids and her husband, it's her husband not supporting her. With her kids, it has always been a sense of entitlement. When it came to Dr. Heavenly, what you remember her big beef with Dr. Heavenly was that people looked at it as jealousy. On the surface, when it was going around with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie, it was that Simone was jealous that Dr. Jackie and Heavenly became really good friends. And so what Simone often complained about to Dr. Jackie was, you and I, Dr. Jackie, have a 10-year, 15, 20-year friendship. I forget how long it was. How is it that we could have a 20-year friendship and all of a sudden Dr. Heavenly can come into the picture and she could be just as good a friend of you than I was, even though I've been a friend longer than you? Okay, I want you to start seeing the pattern of Dr. Simone. What Dr. Simone was pointing out was that the work I put in with you, Dr. Jackie, the work, the work I put in with you should be at a higher value. So how can Dr. Heavenly be on the same footing as me because I have worked harder to be your friend? Okay, you got that first one. Let's go on. There was a time when Toya and Dr. I'm about to call Dr. Simone, Didn't like Toya. Do y'all remember that when Dr. Simone didn't like Toya? What was it based off of? It was based off of she didn't believe that Toya worked hard enough in the marriage with Dr. Eugene. She felt Toya took advantage of Dr. Eugene. Toya was shiftless and lazy. Dr. Eugene was the hard worker. Dr. Simone did not value Toya's presence in Dr. Eugene's life because she felt Toya didn't work hard enough. Do you see the pattern? Okay, let's go on a little bit more. Who else did Dr. Simone have a problem with? Quad, one of the biggest persons she has a problem with. People always say she's afraid of Quad. Let's listen to Quad. Let's listen to Dr. Simone's complaint about Quad. Her complaint about Quad was Quad did not work hard enough in friendships. Quad took the friendship group and only came around filming. Basically, that's what she said. Quad did not work hard enough at being friends with the ladies. So therefore, Quad wasn't worthy to be in the friend group. Because once again, Dr. Simone is evaluating everyone based on how hard they work and what they do. And based on how hard you work, that determines what you get, whether you get acceptance, whether you get love, whether you get everything. Let's go on. Who else did Dr. Simone have a problem with? She had a problem with Letitia, right? Why did she have a problem with Letitia? With Dr. What's her husband's name? We know her husband, Quad's old husband. She had a problem with him, with her. Why? Once again, she looked at her as a gold digger, a person who has not worked hard enough in the relationship to have walked into a marriage with a man who was a doctor. You get where I'm going. You get where I'm going. Where I'm going with all of this is that Dr. Simone, in her early life, learned that in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to be valued, because she doesn't value, you have to work hard according to the standards of someone else. Because here's what we want to get at. All of these people work hard. Dr. Heavenly works hard. Quad works hard. Letitia works hard. Toya worked hard in different things she did in some kind of way. Everyone may not always agree. But the problem with any of the work that any of these people did, it was not on the level of what Dr. Simone expects. You see, Dr. Simone has a criteria. And what it means is until you meet her criteria of what hard work looks like, you are not worthy of accolades, love, acceptance. She was taught this in her very early stages of her development. This is why she hazes, and I'm going to call it hazes, because Dr. Simone hazes all the new girls, the new ladies that come on Married to Medicine. She hazes them because what she wants them to do is work hard to earn their spot on Married to Medicine. What's she doing? What's she doing? What's she doing? Why is she hazing grown women to fit on a show? She is not the judge and the jury of who should be on Married to Medicine, but Dr. Simone considers herself this. So that's why when I say people always look at Dr. Simone as being jealous, no, it's beyond that. It's beyond a system that she learned, which is in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to be worthy, you have to work to a level of her acceptance. And where did she learn this from? More than likely, she learned this from her childhood. Now, the problem with that is this. In her earlier childhood, Simone's probably had parents who withheld love from her based on whether or not she did things that pleased them. Okay, this is what I'm suspecting. And so what she learned to do was to work for the love of her parents. As she pleased her parents and did the right things, she was rewarded, probably with love, probably with acceptance, probably with these things. And along the way, that created a muscle in her that makes her work hard. Now, a lot of people benefit from this. There's a lot of people out in the world like this. They benefit from it because it teaches them hard work. And therefore, a lot of these people out there who are really hard workers, who learn to work hard for the love of another person, there's a good side and a bad side. The good side means you learn to go out in the world and work really hard. And oftentimes those people can become very, very successful in the world, like the Simones, right? The flip side of it is if you take that same system and then you go out into the world with that system, it disrupts your personal relationships. So what it does, what Simone has done in her judgment on her friendships with her girlfriends and the way she got with Cecil is Simone comes in and works hard in relationships because that's what she feels she needs to do to get love. It's probably how she started the relationship with Cecil. She probably did a lot of extra work initially. We know she does a lot of the heavy financial burden of the relationship, right? Then when she had children, what she did was she imposed that same system onto the children. So when you are taught to work hard, to feel accepted and loved, it on the back end with your children, it made her overgive to her children, right? Because she's almost, in a lot of ways, she's working for the love of her children. She wants her children to love her. Simone often talks about how her kids like her husband more, right? She often used to talk about that, right? They like to talk to him more than they like to talk about me. So where does Simone's value come into her children? You know where it comes to? How she feels? Through her money. So when Simone is sitting here saying, use my money correctly, don't abuse my money, the obvious answer would be, well, Simone, if it's your money and you feel they're abusing your money, why wouldn't you cut off your money? Because in Simone's eyes, cutting off the money from her children would mean cutting off their love for her. That's why she's stuck. You see? That's why she's stuck. So a lot of times when people were conditioned to give to others in return for acceptance and love, they go into their personal relationships over giving because that's what they were taught. Give, give, give so I can be loved. But what you train people in your life to do then is to sit back and receive, receive, receive. Then along the way, you're bitter, you're angry, you feel taken advantage of, you feel stuck. Well, why are you stuck? If you're the one over giving and your whole system is out of whack, why don't you stop giving? It's like the drug addict. How do you fix drug addiction in America? You have drug addicts and you have drug suppliers. A lot of people would say, put all the drug suppliers in jail, right? Because if drugs weren't available, then the drug users wouldn't get hooked on drugs. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think the drug users would find some other way to get high. They would be making drugs out of bleach, okay? You could get rid of all the drugs. The drugs users will find a way to make the drugs to get high. This is the problem with people who give to get love. Simone could get divorced. She could cut off her children. She could get rid of all her friends, get rid of Quad. She could get rid of Dr. Contessa. She could get rid of Dr. Heavenly. The problem is the minute she went out and got another friend, she would create another drug addict in that friend because she's the drug addict. She would create another supplier. So the root cause is not to fix the sons. It's not to fix Cecil. It's to fix Simone. Simone has to realize that she's got to change herself, because if she doesn't change herself, she will create the same dynamics in any relationship she goes into. This is why she's got to get rid of the victim mentality, because the victim mentality tells you that I can't do anything to get out of this paper bag. Everybody else has to change. And let me tell you what's really wrong with that mentality in today's world. Today's world is full of entitled people, full of them. So if you constantly are the one giving to a world of entitled people, you are going to burn out. You're going to be bitter. You're going to be hateful. You're going to be spiteful. You're going to be all these things. What you've got to realize is that all your anguish, all your hate, and all your pain of being stuck somewhere is because you refuse to get rid of your own addiction. I'm going to say it. You are addicted to giving in order to feel loved. You've got to learn to feel like you are enough, that you don't have to overgive, you don't have to overdo, and you can't be afraid that people will pull their love away from you if you stop giving. And if they pull their love away from you because you stop overgiving and stop overdoing, let them go. Because if you don't let them go, you will be in constant bondage, constant prison to these type of things. But you have to switch your mind from believing that you are a victim of these people. You're not a victim. You've created the scenario. You're fertilizing the scenario, but you're fertilizing it because you're getting something out of it. You've convinced yourself that you're not getting anything out of it. Just like the drug addict is mad at the drug dealer. You're getting something out of it. You're getting high. You're getting high. You're feeling good. Simone feels good. She sat on this Instagram and complained about how her son had run up a $60,000 credit card bill and how everybody uses all her money. And then turned around and the son told her he couldn't drive a Jeep anymore because he's too old to be giant to drive a Jeep. And so now he wants to drive a Tesla. And Simone went and bought him a Tesla. And she's still angry. So you complained that this boy spent up all your money. And then what you did was you still went and bought it. Why? Because you're buying his love. You learned this earlier on, to give in order to feel loved. You either had to please your parents, you had to do something, behave in order to feel loved by your parents. And now that you're older and you have money, you're using your money in a way to feel loved by your children, your husband, and you overgive in relationships. And then what you do is when you're imbalanced in the relationship, you blame the other person, like Quad. If Quad only gives 2 cents to the relationship, then why don't you just give 2 cents? No, what Simone does is Simone yells and screams at Quad and says, you need to give 5 cents in the relationship. No, Simone, why don't you just give 2 cents and be happy? You don't need Quad to give 5. She gives 2, you give 2. You can give 5 cents to a relationship where another person gets 5 cents. But what Simone does is she expects everyone to give 5 cents. You see, let me tell you what else that breeds. It breeds resentment from the people you give to. I can tell you this, that after a while of Simone overgiving to her children and then demanding that they produce a certain type of behavior, what it actually creates in those children is rebellion. That's why those children aren't worth a damn, right? Because in one way, they've learned that they don't have to work for anything, right? You don't want to create the dynamic that Simone has. But Simone's own issue of giving, giving, giving to feel loved, and then saying, okay, when are you going to give back to me? Well, they don't need to give anything back to you because they're already full. They got everything that they need. You see what I'm saying? So are they too entitled? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. But this is a whole entire ecosystem. It's a whole entire ecosystem. But those children now know how to really get under their mother's skin. And you could see it. They're constantly pushing her buttons. Even her husband knows how to push their buttons. They actually laugh at her. They laugh watching her trying to punch out of a paper bag. She has become the joke of the family because everybody knows that Simone has a big old bark and no bite. She barks and barks and barks. She cusses up a storm, but she doesn't do anything. And you know why she doesn't do anything? Because she's addicted to it. She's just like the drug addict. The drug addict can complain all day long to the drug addict, but guess what? They're not going anywhere. Simone can't divorce Cecil. You know why? Because one is she say her retirement account ain't funded. Cecil will get half. I know they ain't got no prenup. I know they don't have no prenup. We over here talking about Candy Burris and Todd. Dr. Simone and Cecil, her whole retirement account will get split in half. He would get half. She can't afford it. So she feels further stuck. But she can release herself from the bondage that she has because her bondage is mental. She could change the dynamics, but what she's got to be willing to do is work through those painful emotions she's going to have when she starts to feel bad about herself because she's not giving in that high degree. You see what I'm saying? She's actually going to be the one that has withdrawal. You see, when a drug addict decides to get off drugs, the drug dealer is not the one suffering. You know why the drug dealer ain't suffering? Because he will find another person to sell drugs to. It is the drug person who's addicted. Simone is the addicted drug dealer. She's actually the one that is going to go through withdrawal. Because the feeling she gets from buying Teslas, paying all the bills, acting as if she runs everything. She's in charge. She's the one that determines how hard people need to work to be on the show. How hard people need to work to be in friendships, how hard people need to work. She believes she's in charge of all this. Once she steps down from that throne, what's she going to do with herself? What's she going to do all that space, all the energy, all those emotions? They're going to start to resurface. They're going to be childhood emotions when she's going to start feeling like she did when she was young, when she feels like she should be doing more, but she's trying to restrain herself because she doesn't want to fall back into addiction. What's she going to do with it? Simone needs therapy. She's so busy going to couples therapy. She needs to go to individual therapy. She needs help. She needs help breaking herself from this ecosystem that she has learned when it comes to requiring things in order to feel loved, right? Because she was taught this. And then she carries on this value system in the way that she raised her children and the way that she builds friendships, and it's falling apart in every place. If she wants to be happy, she will have to learn to stop over giving in relationships, which means she will have to be able to learn to love herself and soothe herself when she's not over giving, but still feel good about herself and be happy. It's just a withdrawal. It's a detox. She will get there, but she will have to be the one that takes the first steps. Her problem right now is she's so unaware that she's the biggest problem. She's still in the sitting and begging stage for everyone else to do something different. She's waiting for Cecil to be different. She's waiting for her kids. And her kids aren't going to be different. In fact, they're going to keep asking for more and more and more and more, even when she already feels she's done enough. You see, she's got to save herself. She's got to stop thinking that someone else is going to come along and save her. Her husband is not going to save her. Her kids are not going to save her. She's got to save herself and be different. Once she becomes different, if these people in your life really loved you, her husband, her sons, her kids, they will fall in line. And if they don't fall in line, then they will leave. And guess what? You need to be okay with that. Because otherwise, you are resigning yourself to a life of misery. And that's a life of where you feel you are the victim to everyone else, and your entire happiness is being held hostage by people not appreciating you or not loving you. That's what I got. So Simone, all this screaming and yelling, girl, you the problem. You are the problem. That's all I got. Bye, y'all.